Zat Hashem, Chaver, let's get started. We're holding Pirkei Avot, Pirkei, Mishnah Yud Zayin. About Machloket. We'll talk about a little bit about Machloket here. This is something, this Mishnah is a very big yesod. Whenever it comes to an argument, we have to know in ourselves, sometimes when we fight with somebody, sometimes we have the right mind mentality, we have the right machshava, but sometimes also we have the wrong approach. So this Mishnah tells us how important it is to have the right focus in Machloket. Machloket is okay. There's nothing wrong with Machloket. The Etzem. The Gemara is full of Machloket. Chazal is full of Machloket. But there's a way to fight and there's a way not to fight. There's a way to argue and there's a way not to argue. Says the Mishnah. Kol Machloket shehi l'shem Shamayim. Any Machloket that is l'shem Shamayim. Literally it means for the sake of heaven. What does it mean? Any machloket that you're fighting for the sake of Hashem. We'll have to explain that a little bit more. We'll see in the Bartanura how he explains. So fali itkayem. In the end, that kind of machlokes will be mekayem, mekuyam. Now what is mekuyam? Simple. Literally in English it means fulfilled or upheld. So what do you mean? If it's l'shem shamayim, it will be upheld. It will be successful. So you have to understand what that means also. If it's l'shem shamayim, it's successful. Maz is successful. You have to figure that out. V'she'ena l'shem shamayim, continues the Mishnah, and if it's not l'shem shamayim, meaning people are fighting not for the sake of heaven, ein sofa li'tkayem, in the end it will not be successful, it will not be fulfilled, it won't be upheld. Ezu machloket shehi l'shem shamayim, says the Mishnah, what is an example of a machloket for the sake of heaven? Zu machloket Hillel v'Shamai. Hillel and Shammai were actually a pair who were during the era of the Zugot. Great rabbis who guided the Jewish people at a time in history called the Zugot, when there was two rabbis. You had Nasi and you had Av Beit Din that worked in partnership to guide the Jewish people, to direct them. So Hillel and Shammai, they actually didn't argue on very many things. Hillel and Shammai themselves only had a few arguments. Their students, Beit Hillel and Beit Shammai, which was the yeshivot of Hillel and the yeshivot of Shammai, they had many more machloktim. And we know the Gemara in Masechet Eruvin tells us it became so fierce or so split that a bat kol had to come out and say halacha ke Beit Hillel. Because it was almost like the Torah was becoming two Torot chas v'shalom. It was becoming so distinct or pushed separate that the bat kol came out, and we passed him like Beit Hillel. But Chazal also tell us, we know, even though they used to fight, Hillel, Shammai, Beit Hillel, they still treated each other with the greatest dignity, the greatest kavod. They would marry into each other's families, they would eat each other's kashrut. Today, you don't get along with somebody, you don't go to their restaurant. It doesn't have to do with anything. If you trust them as a Jew, etc., so they got along perfectly. So we'll see exactly, they fought l'shem shamayim. V'she'ena l'shem shamayim, and what's considered not l'shem shamayim? Zu machloket Korach v'chol adato. This is the debate, the arguments between Korach v'chol adato and all of his congregation. Now it doesn't say Korach u'Moshe. It says Korach v'chol adato, but as a parallel, meaning to be the same as before, it should have said Shammai v'Hillel, Korach u'Moshe. We know the story of Korach. Korach, Parashat Korach. This was a fellow who was a cousin actually of Moshe and Aaron, and he thought that Moshe was wrong for taking the positions of authority for him and his family. So he was me'orer, he complained against the Keuna Gdola specifically. Aaron should not be the Kohen Gadol, I should be the Kohen Gadol, and he got an entire group behind him to protest against Moshe Rabbeinu. And then we know that there was a test in Isayon that was meant to happen, and eventually him and his Keilah were swallowed up in the ground. Because they were wrong, obviously. Moshe wasn't making up who gets the jobs. Kadosh Baruch Hu was telling them who gets the jobs. That's obvious, we all know. Fine. But the Mishnah says, Korach v'chol adato, that's considered shelo l'shem shamayim, not for the sake of heaven. So let's clarify. What does it mean l'shem shamayim? What does it mean l'hitkayem? What does it mean that it will be fulfilled? It means me and Yochai argue l'shem shamayim. So what's going to happen? And if we argue not l'shem shamayim, chas v'shalom, we would never. But if we would, what's not going to happen? What's going to happen bad, negative? So the Rabbi Vladimir Bartanura says two pshatim here. We'll go focus more on the second one, but the first one's also a big yisod. So I'm going to read you the words. He says like this: Kol machloket shehi l'shem shamayim sofa liyitkayem. He says as follows. Kelomar, she'anshei machloket ahi mitkaymim ve'enam ovdim. So it means if people fight l'shem shamayim for the sake of heaven, those people will survive. They won't be destroyed. Ki machloket Hillel v'Shamai, just like Hillel and Shammai. Shelo avdu lo talmidei Beit Shammai v'lo talmidei Beit Hillel. It's true. We paskin like Beit Hillel. That's true. But the Beit Shammai, till today when we open up a Mishnah, Beit Shammai Omrim and Beit Hillel Omrim, they survived, they lasted throughout the millennia, throughout all generations. We still learn their word. Now, do we paskin that way? We don't paskin that way, but their word has tremendous value. But Korach and his congregation, his group, they were all destroyed, swallowed up in the ground, because it was Shalol Hashem Shamayim. Continues Bartanura. Va'ani shamati perush. I heard a pshat like this. What does it mean, sofa lehitkayem? Sofa. Sofa means the end. But the way he's going to explain it is, tachlita hamevukash me'enyana. Sofa means, what are they ultimately trying to achieve? Whatever they're ultimately trying to achieve, if it's l'shem shamayim, they will achieve. They will get there. If it's not l'shem shamayim, they will not get it. So what's the difference? If there's some sort of an argument, a dispute, a debate, l'shem shamayim, that means, what is their tachlit? Why would somebody fight l'shem shamayim? Why did Hillel and Shammai fight? They fought, they argued, because they wanted to know what is the emet. What is the truth? What is the true word of Hashem? There's a halacha as follows. I say this is the halacha, you say that's the halacha. We don't care for our own positions, for our ego or personal agendas. The only agenda is, what is Dvar Hashem? What is the truth? That is what the sofa for them was. They wanted to know what is the truth. So atachlit va'asof mevukash me'otam machloket la'asiga emet. It was to reach truth. That was the only reason they fought. And they accomplished that. Like they say, through all of the debates, itbarer ha'emet, the truth came out. It came out that halacha was like Beit Hillel. That's true. There was a conclusion in terms of what is emet. That's what happened. Now, is Beit Shammai upset that they lost? They're not upset that they lost, because if that's the truth, then we accept. That's all they wanted. Sofa liyitkayem means the sofa. What's the sofa? The tachlit hamevukash. What was that ultimate reality that they wanted to achieve? What's the truth? The truth they accomplished. That's the truth that they were searching for. But in the other way, if I'm fighting with somebody shelo l'shem shamayim, what's my personal end game? What am I looking for really? It's because I want authority. I want to be the victor. I want to, you look on political debates, it's the same thing. They don't care about the policy and what's in it. They want to win. That's what they want. I want to push you down and be successful in whatever it is that I feel is right. I don't care about what's actually objectively emet and sheker. I don't really care. That's the ultimate sofa that I'm looking for in Shalol L'Shem Shamayim. Zeh sof eino mitkayim. But that sof eino mitkayim. That sof they're not going to achieve. K'mo sho'en matzinu. במחלוקת קורח ועדתו שתכלית וסוף כוונתם הייתה בקשת הכבוד והשררה. He wanted leadership, he wanted a position, he wanted to be somebody in the community. והיו להפך, what ended up happening? Not only did he not get the job, he didn't get that position that he was looking for, but on top of it, he lost everything. He was destroyed. That's a Shalol L'Shem Shamayim. So the way Rav Avadimi Bar Tanur is explaining is, if we're fighting L'Shem Shamayim, we will accomplish what we're looking to accomplish. We'll be successful in that. Because we're trying to find what's emet, we'll figure it. Because since we're fighting to reach what is the truth of Hashem, we'll figure it out. We'll get there eventually. But if we fight Shalol L'Shem Shamayim, Chas v'Shalom, I'm really pushing for my agenda, you're pushing for your agenda, and the truth doesn't have any impact. We don't care about the truth. Not only will we not accomplish what we're trying to accomplish in terms of Ein Sof Liyitkayem, but actually, ultimately, it ends up in destruction. Totally destroyed. One final note I want to say before we finish is the unbelievable thing. Tiferet Yisrael comments on this Mishnah. Ezu machloket l'shem Shamayim zeh Hillel v'Shamai. It does not say Beit Hillel and Beit Shammai. It says the Rebbeim, Hillel v'Shamai. So Tiferet Yisrael comments on this. It says, "V'lo ka'amartana Beit Shammai u'Beit Hillel." Tahainu talmideim, the students. Hi Taima, what's the reason? Mishum debahem efshar shaya bahem mi shelo hitkaven l'shem Shamayim. Unbelievable thing, because in the students there may have already been someone that had a little bit of a thought shelo l'shem Shamayim, which is unbelievable. So what's the message to us? Very often we have an issue with somebody. We have some challenge with somebody. We get upset at them. In our own minds, we might convince ourselves, I am l'shem Shamayim. Where does this come up the most? My father always says, the greatest arguments, the greatest debates come up in shul politics and school politics. Why? Because everyone thinks they're l'shem Shamayim. Of course I'm l'shem Shamayim. I don't have any personal agenda. It's only for the betterment of the kehillah. It's only for the betterment of the shul. It's only for the betterment of the education system. So take a step back and think to yourself, is that really what I'm fighting for? Or perhaps I have some agenda. Perhaps it's for my own kavod. Perhaps it's for my own pocket. Perhaps it's for my own ga'ava. That's not l'shem Shamayim.
Even when you give tzedakah to somebody, most of the time it's not l'shem Shamayim.
Again, and it's
you
not...
You feel bad, you don't want to feel bad, it's water to give a tzedakah.
And you're right, Yosef. But at the same time, that's not bad. You still give that tzedakah, because we say, shelo lishma ba lishma. We say that. But at the same time, we can't fool ourselves into thinking that I'm totally l'shem Shamayim, and this is a worthwhile argument.
Very hard to do
something. If you do a mitzvah l'shem Shamayim, you're right, we have to get to a point with l'shem Shamayim, it's a higher level. But here we're talking about machloket. L'shem Shamayim, to make a fight between people, communities, rabbi, eksherim, so many problems. For what?
Yeah, we all
to my own
know
kavod. That's really bad, because look what happened, as the rabbi said to Korach. He paid for it. When you give it tzedakah l'shem Shamayim, Hashem give you rewards. Not fully, but you get. Look what happened to Korach.
Yeah.
Korach paid his life.
How come?
And all the chevra.
I want to share a story. Listen to this story, chevra. I just read this story. It's very applicable. Finish off with this. Beautiful story. I read a story recently. One of the people posted on WhatsApp. He said there was a Rebbe in a classroom somewhere. It sounds like it was elementary school kids. So one of the kids brought in to the yeshiva, to the school, a food that wasn't Chalav Yisrael. Okay, so some people eat not Chalav Yisrael, talking about, but some people are machmir, makbid, I eat Chalav Yisrael, some people are makbid, seder, good.
Usually Chabad.
So the other, a lot of people, not Chabad too. A lot of people are machmir. Kitzur, it's not the point. Kitzur, the point is, the Rebbe walked in and he saw that day that the other kids in the class were making fun of this kid because he had brought in food that was not Chalav Yisrael. Obviously that's not right. We all know that that's not right. So the Rebbe called up that kid and he said, can I have some of your chocolate? And he took it and he said, Baruch atah Hashem shakol niyeh b'dvaro, and he took a bite. And the kid's class was shocked. They didn't know what to make of it. So he said afterwards, it's the first time in 19 years that I've eaten something that's not Chalav Yisrael, but it's more problematic to fight and make fun of somebody than to eat something that's not Chalav Yisrael. Message. You think those kids walked away without a message? Those kids walked away, they remember that for the rest of their life. Amazing, right? What a story.
Beautiful.